Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. This is FAXINAL MAP. This is by AdrianoDeAvila, Namog Mod and Lostgamer. 91.12 megabytes download. It's a map based in the southern region of Piranha in Brazil. I'll be honest, this one surprised me a little bit. You'll see as we go round. There are no mods added in by the map maker. We've got a couple of animal pens we'll look at in a second, but they are standard in-game animal pens. The silo is fixed in place. We'll talk about that in a moment too. And there's no sleep trigger off the start. We'll look at the map, and this is what it looks like. Some big fields. I say some big fields. We start off with field 2 and this area. Now, be warned. On Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, this plot of land is 768 grand on its own if you want your farm to be there. You don't have to, but you can if you want. Field prices, I mean, field 1 is the cheapest field on the map as far as I can tell, for 172 grand. Then they go up from there. We've got a few plots for forestry, but field 8, 2,772,000. 2,272,080. What, you know... Big plots of land. There are some cheap ones down here. Interspersed with these areas. Now these areas, there are some wooded areas you can cut the trees down. A lot of this is like jungle. It's the only way I can describe it. It's like jungle. It's absolutely crazy. Contracts are available on the map. And there are 2 custom crops. Actually, I should have stayed on there, shouldn't I? On there. There are 2 custom crops. If you look over on the fruit types on the right hand side, the bottom we've got sorgo, which is sorghum. Go across one, and we've got that's pinto beans. I'm not going to try and say it in, well, Portuguese, Brazilian. That's pinto beans. Those 2 crops are put into the ground using either seeders or planters. Either will put those 2 extra crop types in, and they are harvested using the regular harvester headers. Trailers will take those crop types, as will auger wagons, which is rather handy. So what do we start with? We've got a fair bit of equipment, 3 start tractors, some big gear as well. Because like I say, the fields are fairly large, so we do start with a bit of large gear. So the beauty with no sleep trigger being in place, you can put your sleep trigger wherever you want on the map, find a mod, put it down. If you want to, you can use the in-game ones. I'll be honest, there's something in this barn, I'm not sure what it is. It's in here somewhere. I don't really want to go any further and find it. But anyway, there's something in there. The silo is a monster. That's fixed in place on all 3 game modes. And that is 1,000,000 litres. And it is a multi-fruit silo. Taking out, I put it into the silos this side. Taking out, it's done on this side. So, slot count. I'm on New Farmer, as I always do my map tours. On New Farmer, Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, the slot count is 437 out of 1,299, which is pretty good. And what do we start with that? Well, we have a Star ST Max 180, a John Deere 8400R with twins, Massey Ferguson 8737. We've got a New Holland CR 1090, Joskin Transpace 8000, couple of headers for that harvester. Then we've got a Cruiser 12 XL Horse cultivator at 12 metres, the Horse Pronto 9 DC, a 9 metre seeder. Then we've got a fertiliser and herbicide sprayer, large cow pasture and large sheep pasture. The cow pasture is 200, the sheep pasture is 250 capacities. And like I said, they are standard in-game ones. Now, if you want to sell all of that start gear, you can. You can get the slot count down to 278. Which is pretty impressive. Now, you won't have any of the machinery here. The buildings will all still be here, as will the silo. The sheep pasture, which is there, and the cow pasture will disappear. But I have tried, and you can place other pastures. Once you're on the land, you can place other things on there. So if you want to sell them off, if you don't want to do cows, you want to do pigs instead, or you want to do horses, or you absolutely can. We've got some nice... Now, I'm never quite sure what they are. I keep thinking monkey puzzle, but a monkey puzzle tree is different to that. Beans of an A. We do have a water source here. Watercolour. Definitely affected by the soil. It's an interesting colour. So what we're going to do is grab the John Deere and head around the map. Now there aren't many sell points. I've done my best where I can to do the translations. It's not always pretty, I know, when I do translations. It can get a little bit grim here and there. So, sheep pasture is there, 250 sheep. Standard in game one, so all the triggers and stuff are fairly straightforward. As we come down the hill, there's a little turning. I need to make sure I don't miss it. Little track on the left. I'm going to turn the lights on. There we go. Which brings us round to the cows, if you want to run your cows. And again, fairly standard. There's not a lot of room to move around here, in all honesty. Well, you can get around there, but there's not a huge amount of space. Now, what surprised me with this map is, when I often say about undulations, that's an understatement. This map is going to be a challenge, a real challenge to operate on, because I think the farm is on the highest point of the map and everything sweeps down away from it. Fields are odd shapes as well as being very, very large, but the terrain is astounding. What I also like a lot is the lighting. As I went round, I'm going to turn it off. As I went round, and I've had a quick whiz around the map just for familiarise myself. When you get into these spots when the sun's coming up and you know the light's just hitting various different things, it looks fantastic. Look at that. I like that a lot. That's got a really nice look to it. So yeah, lighting, good. Now, saying that, as we get around a bit further, we're going to get onto a main road. The car lights on the road look like it's been pouring with rain. You know, you get that reflection. And there are some areas with some street lighting and house lighting where the lights appear to be white, but they do put off a really green glow on the ground. We'll see as we go around. There's quite a bit of drive in between, because as you can tell, it's a big map. Look at these fields. You're going to need some serious horsepower machinery, especially if you're pulling big gear up and down some of these slopes. Forestry up to the right there, but as you can see to the left, it is more jungle-like than forest. That is so densely packed. Now, I'm not sure, actually, I'm going to double check. These are three-dimensional trees and not, you know, sometimes you get ones that are two-dimensional as you come in here. Now, a lot of these are ones you're not going to be able to cut down. However, that modded Devourer, if you're going to do wood chips, you may be able to clear a load of this, but this is, you know, very densely populated. And there's quite a few areas across the map that are like this. I've got to find the tractor. And the undergrowth actually leading up to it is very thick, very deep. So, first in the sell points, we are coming up on Groen Sudoest. Now, Sudoest, as far as I can tell, is southwest, isn't it? Sudoest? But anyway, as far as I can tell, that's Grain southwest. Sudoest? Anyway, could be wrong. That's just here, and we come onto the first part of the road. There's a big church. Oh, sorry, big church here. I don't want to apologise. You're welcome. And there is traffic on all these road sections now. It's fairly slow moving. And obviously I've gone for the tractor with twin wheels, haven't I, which is going to make overtaking slightly interesting. I may find myself in the undergrowth a little bit here. So on the western side of the map, and we are heading south. There's a bit of driving to do. Off to the right through those trees, there's a clearing, kind of grass. It's not numbered as a field, but you can buy it. There you go. That's become open expanse. So that's an interesting one, because there is a crop in that, but it's not a numbered field. Well, it is there. See what I mean about the headlights on the ground? It gives the effect that it's been pouring with rain. That's kind of reflecting off the wet ground. Next point of interest coming up on the left, feel like a tour guide. We've got a fuel station. Then on our right, we've got a little complex, a little housing, building complex. You see what I mean about the green lights? Because first of all, I thought it was like a hotel or something. Well, that's quite cool. But that seems to be most of the light. Although the lighting on the left isn't. I quite like the look of it. I think that's quite cool, but it may not be your cup of tea. Southwest corner of the map. We come to the next sell point. This sell point is AdrianoDeAvila, Grandpa's store. Again, as far as I can tell. Now, this is an interesting one as well. Loads of open area and expanse to get into the sell point. So it's like, come on, bring your stuff, come in, sell your stuff here. Getting out is a little bit more difficult. There's not really a turning circle per se, and as far as I can tell, that's the exit, which is far narrower. I mean, it's still an exit, but it's that interesting thing. It's a little bit Hotel California. You can come in, but you can never leave. So, from here, AdrianoDeAvila sell point, we're going to head across the bottom box, the bottom-ish of the map, the southern part of the map. There is still stuff to the south, but this is the roadway. I'll go around, I think. You'll see it open out a lot more here, and a lot more of the sweep of the terrain. These huge sort of hillock areas as you go across. And see the lighting again. Yeah, I like it. I like the lighting. It's a bit of a drive across the bottom from here, but then the last few sell points are all pretty much on top of each other when we get over to the southeast of the map. But it's a massive expanse. Like I say, with the contracts available on some of these fields, you could probably make a tidy bit of money doing some harvest contracts on there. They're going to take you a while though. Oh no, got another one to get to first, haven't we? The sawmill. Just remembered. That's coming up. Bit of ducking and diving, bobbing and weaving. Oh, some crop on the road there. Right down here. Through some more jungle to the sawmill. Lumber sell point is just there. Wood chip sell point just there. So, where have we been so far? Well, we started at the main farm here, and we came across and round this field, all the way around up here to Groen Sudoest. Then down the side there, fuel station, that area there that would look like a hotel, but it's just a few houses. Out to the bottom here, AdrianoDeAvila, across the bottom, and we are currently here at the sawmill. So just a little hop now, out to the southeast corner of the map. There's no more sell points up the eastern side of the map, it's all just big fields, big expanse out that way. Now, you may have already noticed, I haven't mentioned it yet, but as we're coming out to the last sell points, there's no biogas plant and there's no livestock market. Now, so you can buy directly. And I did this on, what map was it? I did this on the plantation, wasn't it, when I said about that. You can buy directly at your actual your animal thing, but if you like transporting them, I was racking my brains. Is there a livestock market in place? I don't think there is there. So if transporting the animals is something you really like to do, I mean, you could simulate it I suppose it takes away that enjoyment a little bit, I suppose, but you could simulate it by getting them at your livestock market or your pen, taking them off somewhere and then bringing them back. That seems a little bit double handling, doesn't it? Right, down here we come to Cargill Cellpoint. Again, interesting. Wow, that traffic does not want to stop, does it? Thanks so much for that. I mean, that is steep. Coming in is fine, getting out, I think you've got to come around the other way. Cellpoint's just there for Cargill. Interesting pools of light from all of the light sources, I think. And back up here. And we come down to the last point, which is the main store. And there's a line point here. Estacio de Cal. Lime station. Lime station is just there. And right here is your store. Buy point, just there. Sell, repair, customize point there. I really do like this. This is the new invisible car ramps. I've been looking for a set of those on Amazon or from Halfords, and I can't find them. But very, very nice. I like those. I thought if I walked up to it, it might drop down, but it doesn't. This is also the reset point here at the store. So if you have any problems with anything, get stuck, rolled over, up a tree, whatever it might be, you need to reset. This is where your equipment and machinery will reset to. I think that's it. That's the map with all the sell points. Just move my piece of paper out of the way. So we are finishing off right down here. It's a bit of a drive, whichever way you go when you think about it, because the farm's just north of Central. But then I suppose a lot of maps are exactly the same. It's an interesting one with some interesting terrain, a couple of extra crop types. This has been FAXINAL MAP. I've been MrSealyp. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.